G'day everyone, and welcome to the start of another video. In this video we leave Ceduna, make our way to Port Augusta, and it's there we have a cup of coffee with the brother of mine before making our way on to Bullaroo Centre. And Bullaroo Centre is where we actually began the trip, and it's where Janice and Michael were supposed to join us, but they had car trouble right at the very beginning, so of course they didn't get to Bullaroo, and we eventually met up with them on the northern side of Port Augusta. We spend a number of nights there at the Easter camp, and it's there that Janice and Michael leave us and they head home while Sally and I continue on a little bit. Sally and I will have a couple of more nights there, and that allows us also to spend a bit of time with Sue and Malcolm as well, and from there we head over to Burra. Now it's Burra where I've got a sister living and brother-in-law, so we spend a couple of nights with them, bit of a family get-together type thing, and then we go out to Burra Gorge, and we spend 4 beautiful nights out at Burra Gorge before moving on. And moving on, of course, that's home, but Dion and Sam and the grandkids come up for a night and spend a night in their caravan here with us, and that was terrific, that was. And once we leave here, of course, it's home, and that's the end of the trip. But hope you enjoy what we've got to show you. I'm Mick, and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. Joining us on the big lap with their own van are our good friends Michael and Janice. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. We have arrived at Ceduna, and we've just finished setting up here in the Ceduna Foreshore Caravan Park. We've booked in for 2 nights, and we're going to go over and have a pub meal tonight, just as a little bit of a wind up to our big trip that we just about finished. And as I say, 2 nights, and then we're stock up on groceries and keep making our way east. The last time we stayed at this caravan park here in Ceduna was back in 2004, and that was the tail end of exactly the same trip that we're just completing now. You hear a lot of bad reports about Ceduna, but this caravan park, when we were here on this trip, would have to rate as being one of the best that we've stayed at for the entire trip. With the developments that's been done to the Ceduna foreshore, it is a picturesque place indeed. It was almost a feeling of sadness when we left Ceduna to continue to making our way across the top of Eyre Peninsula, because it was bringing back the reality of the trip being almost over. As you pass through the township of Woodner, on the southern side of the main road, is a statue here, and that's a tribute to the Australian farmer. Another day on the road, and another day of some sort of rain. It followed us all the way from just the northern side of Perth as we continued to make our way east. It was a nice feeling as we turned into one of South Australia's best donation camps, and that allowed us to escape the wind of the day. G'day everyone, we've had a very wet and windy drive this morning from Ceduna to here at Kemba. We're at the Recreation Reserve at Kemba, that's a donation camp, and we're only here for 1 night, but from what we've heard the weather is supposed to get better as the days go on now, but according to the weatherman at the moment it's 6.6 degrees here, but it only feels like minus 2.9. This donation camp does offer toilets, and it has coin operated showers. No 240 volt unfortunately for those that do require that, but it's got one magnificent camp kitchen. got absolutely spotless barbecues. Unfortunately for Sally and I, it wasn't a good start to the next day. We had a flat battery on the vehicle and we had to wait for the RAA to come across, and he fitted a new battery, and from there we're on our way. Once we were mobile and leaving Kimber, the next camp location was going to be in the Southern Flinders Ranges, and it was there that we held our Easter camp, and that's where this trip actually started from. In true fashion, we had another day with a bit of rain, and then it was on to Port Augusta, where we said hello to Kerry, my brother, before making our way up through the hills and on to Wilmington, Melrose, and then into the Southern Flinders Ranges. G'day everyone, and we've finally made it here to the Easter camp, and that's where the trip began for Sally and I some 4.5 months ago. So if you want to have a look at any of those locations that we visited along that period, go back through the library that we've got on the channel, and they're all there to be viewed. We're not sure how long we're going to be here, and Janice and Michael will be leaving earlier than what we will be, but that's just the way it goes, and that'll be a sad day when that does happen. Whilst we're here though, we're going to sit around that fire and just discuss and share all the good times that we had in that period that we've been travelling with Janice and Michael. It's been good to have that company, and sadly for Sally and I, the trip whilst we're here will continue on our own, but never mind, things must keep moving. It's a little hard to believe how green it is now, because when we're here in the middle of April for the Easter camp, it was as dry could be, and I'll insert a snippet of a video here just to show you what it looked like back then. Whenever we're on this Easter camp here and we have a fire, we've got what we call a fire ring, which is a piece of rainwater tank that we put around the fire so it can't blow and cause any problems. And it was time to remove that now and get that fire going. There is a tremendous amount of fallen timber in this location here, and we're just thankful that we've been given permission to burn it and allow us to have a fire as we wish. With a good fire now burning, it was time to put that billy on and make a billy tea. Not very often we have a billy tea, and it's just one of those things. We normally burn a fire in our little fire pit, and we don't get enough heat to always be able to boil the billy. With that hot cup of tea, it was a perfect afternoon to be sitting around the fire, discussing all the things that we'd done during our time together. One thing about having a good fire, it does give you the perfect coals that allows you to cook a good barbecue. Once we'd finished cooking the barbecue and had a nice feed, later on that day, we thought we'd finally get our bananas on the coals. Now what we're doing here, you peel the banana open a little bit, cut it down the middle, open it up, and you put chocolate down inside the centre of the banana. You then close it back up, wrap it up in foil and cook it on the coals. And in the same way that you would cook a potato that you would do in the coals, and it's absolutely yummy. Been many years since we've done this, and it's almost to the point where we forgot how long we were going to put them in for, but we put them in the coals, not in the hot coals, but in the coals for about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. In the end we worked out we could have perhaps done it just that little bit longer, but they were nice and very enjoyable. Once we've got them all out of the coals without damaging, the proof was going to be in the big taste test. If anyone's done any bananas in this way and can offer us any tips on how to make them that little bit better, I'm not going to say nicer because these were nice, but any tips to make them that little bit better, let us know. We've seen better here, but even so, a nice sunset to finish our day off. For Sally and I the following morning, it was a little bit of a sad day to watch Michael and Janice leave us after being with us for so long. As we watched them drive down the road, it was a feeling like, you know, a little kid had just had his Christmas present taken away. Now out at the campground on our own, Sally and I continued to enjoy this nice weather that we were now experiencing, and as well we went and had an evening meal with my sister Sue and Malcolm and enjoyed some very nice barbecues while out around the fire as well. Another billy tea and another beautiful sunset to round off our time as we spent here in the Southern Flinders Ranges. From the Southern Flinders Ranges, our next stop for 2 nights was going to be in the township of Burra. And it was there that we were going to spend time with my sister Debbie and her husband Paul. It was a nice day to be driving on the road, and we were soon in Burra. I wasn't going to do any recording whilst in Burra, but when we walked down along the Burra Creek that runs through the township of Burra, it was such a pretty sight, I just could not help myself. Once we'd left Burra, it was only a short drive that was going to take us down to Burra Creek, and it was there that we were going to spend the remainder of our trip. The rain clouds were still hanging around, but we were hoping that that wasn't going to spoil our time here. G'day everyone, and we've arrived here at Burra Creek, Burra Gorge, World's End Reserve, whatever you wish to call it, comes under many names. And this about really completes our big lap that we're doing, or half lap, and we've got some visitors coming tomorrow, which will be very good. But I'll just put a map up on the screen now. It's up there right at the moment. And that's where we've travelled during this trip. Been a great trip, and if you want to have a look at any of it, it's all on video and on the YouTube channel, so you can go back and have a look. And from here, we'll be heading home in a couple of days' time. For those people during this trip that we've just completed, that we've met up with and enjoyed a cup of coffee and a bit of a yak and discussed some of the trips that they've done and some of the trips that we've done, that's been great. And for anyone that sees us out and about, please do come up and say hello. We're always willing to have a bit of a discussion with anyone, and unfortunately for those that wanted to meet up with us that we were unable to do so, we do apologise. But yes, if you see us out and about, please come and say hello. With the water running down through the creek and so much green grass in the area, this place is a picture to be in. There was a lot of campers coming and going, and some staying as long as what we were, perhaps some staying even longer. But certainly a lot of people coming and going and camping in Burra Creek during our time here on this trip. We have stayed here many times, and for those that follow the channel, of course, they'll know that we've done some videos on Burra Creek before. But for those that haven't, there are two sections to the camping area. One here that we're looking at now, that's the top section, and the section that we camped in is known as the bottom section. Dion and Sam and the grandkids came up with their caravan and spent one night with us, and it was almost like a welcoming home. Very nice thought indeed. Our main meal for the day here was going to be a camp oven roast. It was time to give it a turn and see what the meat was cooking like. Perhaps not enough heat on the bottom, so turn it over and restoke the coals and let it cook again. Nothing really complements a camp oven meal more so than baked potatoes that are done in the coals. So Sally and her helper here were wrapping up all the potatoes, and then we put them in the coals, covered them with ash and then a little bit of coal on top of the ash, and we just left them there to cook away. If we gave ourselves 7 or 8 out of 10 for cooking the meat, the way that these potatoes turned out, we would have to give ourselves 10 out of 10. They were absolutely beautiful. With everything on the coals cooking away, it was time to sit back and enjoy time, and even the grandkids had a bit of exercise with the bowl. Nothing like a good serious game of try dominoes out in the sunshine. With the potatoes cooked and coming out of the coals, it was time to get the meat off the coals, put it on the table and start to carve the meal up and serve it up ready for consumption. Not too bad, if I don't say so myself. With a very nice meal now in our bellies, it was time to sit around the campfire and toast a few marshmallows. Well, this brings us to the end of this video, and of course that's the end of our big series that we've been doing. Nearly 5 months we've been on the road, and tomorrow we head home and start that big clean-up. Been great travelling with Janice and Michael, and we've really enjoyed their company. And from here, our next big trip is going to be outback Queensland. That'll be sometime next year, and between now and then we'll keep doing those shorter trips and put our videos up. So until a video does go up, you take care and look after yourself.